Hello world, it is Monday, November 23rd. A beautiful sunny day in Defiance. Blue skies this morning. Chilly. There's still some snow on the ground from yesterday, but I think it's going to be getting a little warmer today than it was yesterday. Today the devotion is entitled The Playbook, and it's written by Kaji Dosha. And Kaji bases the devotion upon Exodus chapter 1, verse 17, New Revised Standard Version. The midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, feared God. They did not do as the king of God commanded them, but they let the boys live. And Kaji writes, what was wrong with the Hebrew babies? Why would the tyrant Pharaoh want them gone? Oppressors have a predictable playbook: servitude, forced labor, imprisonment, genocide, mass genocide. It's also the story of Exodus, where an oppressor feared a race of people, literally immigrants, who were strong and numerous. Rather than welcoming them, the tyrant turned on them. Pharaoh wanted the baby boys dead. Ancient Israel was patrilineal. Killing the boys would wipe out the Israelites over time. So the tyrant called on the women to exact his nefarious plan, with the full expectation that they would execute it as he ordered. This happens in empire. Oppressors are accustomed to accomplices. Pharaoh expected the same from Shiphrah and Puah, but they were not the ones. People will go to great lengths, to the ends of the earth, to borders, to desert wilderness, to Egypt, to Texas, to survive, to preserve life. And Mammon will do all he can to stop them. But look to the women. We don't know Pharaoh's name. Exodus doesn't name him, maybe because it doesn't need to. We know Pharaoh. Or if we don't, we should. And we must know his playbook, and we must see our place in resisting it. Because you do know that the resistance has a playbook. It's called the Bible. It's time to summon courage in ways we may never have imagined. It's time to show that strength the tyrant so deeply fears. We must fear God more than Pharaoh. We must trust God more than empire. We must never be collaborators in oppression, because God has already taken sides in the struggle of the oppressed. Now it's our turn. And the prayer. Thanks be to God for the Shiphrahs and the Puahs, the sojourners, the Tubmans. Now we rise and resist. Amen. Well, this devotion to me brings up so many different emotions and thoughts. Sometimes I personally feel that one of the outcomes of Christianity becoming a state religion, becoming part of empire, so to speak, was that it was turned into, rather than a message of hope and freedom from oppression, a message about salvation in the next life. I think there's some scholastic or academic thought behind that as well. But it certainly seems to ring true to me that somehow the message of the Bible, the message of Jesus Christ, may have been diluted by the empire out of fear of what it can teach the people. Part of my seminary studies included studying some of the black theologians that actually look to the story of the Exodus as a story for the black people in America who came here through slavery, as a point of exodus for them. And sometimes their words are hard to hear, but I think that is what the Bible is sometimes, that if we really get to the message, some of the messages are hard to hear because of where we are in our place within the empire, so to speak. So there's a lot to think about and a lot to be awoken to what our place is in the world as Christians and what we should be calling for and working towards, and how we actually continue the work of God's work of bringing heaven to earth. Have God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Well, I am on vacation today, so I'm not going to keep you. I will continue to do this the rest of the week just to stay in contact, because I think contact in this time of traveling in the wilderness is important, because certainly being in the midst of this pandemic is like, in some respects, being in the wilderness, and the only way we get through it is with each other, using whatever means we can to continue to understand that we are a community together, and we will get through this. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Take care.